Soluno gives you the ability to mass close files from the Contact Files icon. Click on the Contact Files icon. If you have security access to Close Files, you will see the Close File tab. Click it to access the Mass Close feature. The Open Date End field will default to your last close period in Soluno. This is by design. Certain conditions must be met in order to close a file. To see those conditions, click on the I icon. One of these conditions is that entries on a file must be in a closed period. Soluno will default to your last closed period date to give you access to as many files as possible for closing. This will help you from accidentally closing new files that have been opened, since a new file may have no activity yet, and that would meet the condition of all entries in a closed period. Remember, the dates you see in this information screen are being pulled from the last closed period in Soluno. In this case, the last closed period in Soluno is May 2022, so that is why the default date is pulling May 31st, 2022. You can also filter by the last entry date of a transaction on the file to narrow down your list of entries. You can select the filed hold status to narrow down the list even more. When you have made your selections, click the Play button to see the list of files available to close. The Closed File Number column may or may not populate automatically. This is based on your admin settings. You may have to enter a closed file number if you are not using one of the pre-populated options in admin settings. The close date will populate with today's date. You can change if necessary. You can add where the physical file is stored in this column. The Destroy Date column will populate with a date of December 31st, 2199. Change as necessary to the date you can actually destroy the physical file. In this case, the Copy to Clipboard icon is useful to populate all fields in a column. For example, to switch the destroy date for all the files, select the date you want to use for the destroy date. Click the Copy to Clipboard icon to copy it down to the rest of the files. Choose if you want a client ledger to print when the file is closed. Please note, you may not see this column if the admin setting for this option is to always print when a file is closed. To see any other available columns to display, click on the hamburger icon in the upper right. You can select or deselect the columns you would like to see. When you are ready, select the files you would like to close. If closing all files in the list, click the checkbox in the column header. Depending on your admin settings, you may also have the option to close the contact when the last file for the contact is closed. To do so, check this box. When you are all set, click the Close button to close your files. Click Yes to continue. Soluno will process your request and then download a zip file with any ledgers that you printed and a closed file summary. You have now closed your files in Soluno.